Hello everyone. Today we are going to see what are Google Cloud Functions. So if you just go back to the providings provided by the Google Cloud Platform or any other provider, we do know that there are different providings like our infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, softwares as a service, and now we have one more component which is a very interesting functionality. It is called as functions as a service. So in functions as a service, you don't need to worry about the infrastructure, managing it, the cost, maintenance, the DevOps kind of things that are needed. Then similar to the platform as a service, you don't need to worry about what are the platforms that will be running my functionality. You don't need to worry about the software that needs to be run, the run times. You only need to worry about the code that you are going to run, and you need zero server management. So it's a very interesting and very popular functionality whenever you want to run some specific part or specific functionality and you want it to be run on Google Cloud or any other cloud provider. You just need a cloud function. Create a function, give that functionality to that function will be up and running and give the functionality running. So if you go to the different advantages of using cloud functions, like it needs no server management, it is auto scaled, it is having the integrated monitoring logging functionality, security and networking capabilities are quite fascinating, and that is being managed and controlled by Google Cloud itself. There are different key features. You can go through the site provided by the Google Cloud documentation. It is basically a very simple experience to the developer. It is not any hi-fi, the complex code you need to write the Google Cloud function. It is a quite simple user interface. Then you are paying only for what you use. So the execution time for which the function is getting run, and the number of times you are running that function, only that will be counted. And it is actually avoiding the lock-in with the open technology. Sometimes what happens is you usually run something, or you use a compute, okay, and that compute needs some environments or some runtimes, and it is only dependent on those runtimes, so it will be logged in. So this functionality, Google Cloud Functions, is providing multiple environments to prevent the lock-in. So for example, it is providing Node.js runtime, it providing Python runtime. So we have different options. It has various customers, and you can see there are like retail customers, gaming customers. Most important for nowadays, the Google Cloud functionality that can be implemented using cloud functions is the machine learning models. For instance, if you want to run a machine learning model and some user just want to hit the model, he is a very normal user and he just don't know what are the technical stuff. So you just need to create a Google Cloud function which will be running that model. It is taking the arguments and it is giving you the results. So the model will get arguments from the cloud functions and provide the results in return. So it is as simple as that. So, and it is not only the simplicity, it is about the pricing also, because if you see, first 2 million invocations of the functions per month are free. So it is quite a good amount of invocations, and beyond 2 million invocations it is just $0.4 and it is per month. So it is quite interesting to use this cloud functionality, cloud functions. And if you are running it for a testing part, you may end up with the free trial, and if you are doing it for the production implementations, even that is also quite reasonable. So we can just move ahead, and I can show you how to create the Google Cloud function. For that you just need a Google account first of all, and inside that Google account you need a project, as we discussed in previous videos. These are my project IDs and project numbers. Inside that project I want to create a Google Cloud function. So if I'm creating a function, first of all, I should know what functionality I want to implement. So what I am trying to do is I am trying to create a Google cloud function which will take input as time, for example 11:30. Okay, and it will provide me the output as the angle made by the time shown in the clock. So if 11:30 is in the clock, that hands are making some angle and I just want that angle in return. So just don't worry about the code. You can get that code on internet and I will use that in my description as well. So we are not focusing on the code that we are going to write. I just want to show you the functionality that can be wrapped up in a Google Cloud Function. So think in that way. So that is the functionality that I want to execute in Python. So what I will go to the compute of Google Cloud. Inside compute, Google Cloud Functions, create function. So here you have to give some name, like I will be giving cloud angle region. So you can specify it whatever nearer to you. And what we want is, we want a trigger. We are creating a function, it is a trigger. So what kind of trigger I want to create? I want to create a HTTP trigger because I want to run it from a browser or using a CURL command, or I want to directly run the Google Cloud function. But sometimes your function is getting triggered from PubSub or any cloud storage, Firestore. So these are the beta versions. So that can be the final productionized version we can get in some time, but cloud storage and PubSub are the other options which are available. I'm using HTTP trigger. This will be the URL that will be useful when we will be triggering this function. So I will just note it down. Okay. Authentication. For now, we don't have any security concerns. So we are allowing the unauthenticated invocations, but otherwise you have to provide the IAM roles so that specific users can are authorized to access the URL that created by the function. So I am just going ahead. These are some stuff like what is the amount of memory it needs, so I will keep it minimum. And timeout, like for example this URL is getting hit and for some reason this region is down and this server is down, and I don't know how it's going to happen, like how much time it will take. So I am just giving that 60 seconds, try the URL, and if it is not working, just give the timeout error. So it is up to us. Maximum function instances also we can provide. Actually it will invocate the multi-threading and parallel runs of this function. For now I am not doing it, and we just need the service account, and I have already one with a compute engine service account. You can create one. Next, and now the important part, on which runtime you want this functionality to be run. So we have various languages. So Go, Java, Node.js and Python are the supported runtimes in which we can write the function. So now I will copy a function that I have created, clock angle. So this is the function clock angle, and this is also the entry point. This is the only function and I want to run that function, so I have written the same name. What it is doing, it is nothing but taking the request, and from request it is fetching the parameter input time and splitting it, and based on the hour and minute it is trying to calculate the angle, and finally it is printing the angle, that this is the angle made by the hands. This is the main.py which will be running this clock angle functionality, and it is inside cloud angle function. So I hope it is clear. And the requirements, if this function needs some other configurations, that can be provided in the requirements. And now we can deploy this function. It will take some time. Okay, so it is uh, creating the function. You can see what is the property that is for region. US Central one. Trigger is HTTP. Python runtime is 3.8 latest version. Memory allocated 128 MB. Execution function is clock angle inside the Python code, right? And it is allowing the unauthenticated requests. So if I go inside, if we face any error while creating or deploying this function, it will show the error here. And this is the source again. If you want to see, if you are passing any variables, you can pass the variables, runtime and build environment variables. Trigger, the same trigger that we just copied. Whenever we want to deploy, use this function, we can use this trigger. Permissions, you can provide the permissions to whom you want this function to be used. And testing part, we will go to that. And these are the details. These are the metrics in which it will show you the performance and current activity on the function. So as of now, it is just getting deployed and we have to wait for that. So let's see what happens. So guys, our cloud angle function is now ready to use. We will try to test it using the testing functionality. So what our function need is the input time variable, which is a key value pair. So we just need to provide the input time, and here we can just give the time. Now I will test the function. Yeah, so angle is 330 degrees when the time is 11 o'clock in the time in the clock. So the hands are making some angle and that angle will be returned. If I do it 9 o'clock, so it's in clockwise direction, so think in that way. It is 270 degrees when it is 9 o'clock in the clock. Okay, so this is just a testing part. We are testing this cloud angle cloud function from its own interface itself, but sometimes what we want is we want this function to be run from somewhere else, and if it is running from somewhere else, it will give you some bash or cloud shell environment which can be run as a command. So if you want to run as a command, there are two options. One is you can use a CURL to hit this cloud function. Another is you can use gcloud utility to hit this function. So we will see using first the approach of CURL. So it's a request, HTTP request. So it is CURL hyphen x post, which is a post method. This is the same URL that is being created as part of the cloud function. This is the header application JSON, and the data in the same format like key value pair, like input time is 11:40 for instance. So you can see the result angle is 110 degrees. So the function is successful. So now if you want to run it in other way, gcloud functions call. So you are using a gcloud utility, inside that using functions, and you are calling the function. The name cloud angle, the function name, and data in the same format that we recently used. We'll try. Yeah, you are getting the result. See, first angle was 110, another time it is 82.5 degrees. So yeah, so we have seen both the approaches to run the Google Cloud function. One is creating a HTTP request with post method and using the CURL. Another part is using the Google Cloud's own utility, which is gcloud, and gcloud functions call, and we can directly call without the fully classified path. But when you are using CURL, you can run it from outside as well. So you have to provide the full path, like HTTPS path. So these are the two approaches to run the cloud functions. So inside the cloud functions, you can go to the metrics, and you now see that matrix is showing some details with the recent executions, and this is the execution time. It is in milliseconds, and the memory utilization is quite low. And because we are just returning the angle, we are not storing it somewhere, right? So these are the active instances. And yes, this is done. And to summarize it, we are using Google Cloud Platform to create a serverless Google Cloud function which can run a functionality for you irrespective of managing the infrastructure, irrespective of managing the platform or a software to run. You just need to specify the runtime you want to execute a function on, and just provide the code. And once you provide the code, you are just one click ahead, and you have to just create the command URL, or you have to use the gcloud functionality or utility to execute that function, and you can run it from any other cloud component as well. So you just specify your functionality. Cloud functions is responsible to give you the output in return. So thank you for watching this video. Let's data.